Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Suki's playing, so sorry if it's a little bit loud. Today we wanted to do a Q&A for you guys because we know that some of our friends and stuff had some questions about living in Japan. Yeah, so we wanted to film that with you guys. So we have our tea. I highly recommend you get a little drink. I'm not sure how long this video will be. Yeah. But yeah, so get prepared to hang out. Let's have some tea together in the living room.
Yeah. Cool.
Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I posted this on Instagram and I don't know, Suki, don't do that. I don't know if you guys are like us, but we keep getting like these spam responses anytime we post like the questions thing, so I have to kind of sort through those, but okay. Ooh, so this isn't necessarily a question about living in Japan, but this was sort of like a question to us both as like human beings. So what do you fear is the question.
What do you fear? Oh, I feel like I needed preparation for that.
I know, right?
Not much. I don't know. What about you?
I think for me, like, I feel like I don't have fears of like small things necessarily. Like, I don't love roller coasters, but I wouldn't say that I'm like fearful of them. I just like don't enjoy them. I don't know. I feel like for me, I just really fear like something happening to like my friends or my family or something. I think that's like really the only thing. Also, I'm like a little freaked out by the concept of like deep ocean water. Like, I'm not talking like if I'm swimming. If I'm swimming, it's fine. It's just like the concept of being like in the middle of the ocean adrift with all that under you, like that freaks me out. Or like if you're in space just like floating, that freaks me out too. Yeah.
So the uncertain.
Yeah, uncertainty.
The void.
The void, yeah. So I think that's probably it.
I'm not a fan of clowns.
I don't think I really, well, I knew that you didn't like them, but I didn't know that it was like a fear.
I mean, it's not necessarily like I'm like clowns or whatever, but
you just get uncomfortable.
Maybe it's like people in costume, not like clothing costume, but like masks.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, but like if it's like a casual mask, like a mask party or something,
like a masquerade,
like, that wouldn't be weird. But like if like the serial killer vibe.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah. That's a great way to start off.
I know, right? I should
Q&A.
have probably picked a different one. Okay, let's see what else we got. My phone's... Okay, what is your I don't want to think about it go-to meal?
Pizza.
Yeah, pizza is yours, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like mine is like pasta. Like if I'm gonna go out to the store and get something, I feel like I'll get like pasta and then like make a sauce or something.
Yeah.
But I think in the circumstance of like I don't have anything in the pantry, what can I cobble together into something vaguely edible? I generally go with like rice with like an egg on it or something. That's kind of like I feel like our go-to.
Back in the States, we would do rice and beans with like hot sauce on it.
I feel like that was like 90% of our meals, to be honest.
We don't really have beans here, so we haven't been able to do that.
Yeah, not like canned beans anyway. Like we can get the dried stuff. We just haven't really done anything with that.
It's time consuming.
We used to do a lot of coconut curry too, because like chickpea curry, it's like really quick to make. And we ate it pretty often, so I feel like I could put it together in like under 15 minutes probably. So that used to be our go-to for sure. But yeah, now I feel like I'm trying to think of like at night if we don't really have anything, what we normally end up doing.
Like egg toast, maybe? Yeah,
that's true. We do. Yeah, we eat egg toast a lot, but kind of anything egg-based, I guess.
Yeah,
so hopefully that answered that question. Okay, somebody said... This one's a little bit more in depth. So someone on Instagram said, can I read? Probably not. Always dreamed of moving to Japan. Any advice, pros and cons?
Well, I'd say advice, just start applying for jobs.
Yeah.
I put in maybe 5 applications, and within 3 days I had 3 interviews set up. So I think it's about timing.
Yeah.
So if you're looking like at an English teaching job, which is probably the easiest way to move over here, I'd say start looking and like putting applications in late spring or summer. The interview process started early summer for my situation. Now that's for teaching in public schools. You can put in applications for private schools that will hire you directly, not through like a third party. And then there's also Eikaiwa, which is like a private language school. Those are a little bit harder because you're not salary paid and you have to work the hours that people aren't working. So that means like 7 to 9 in the morning, and then you have the rest of the day off, and then you have to come back and work in the afternoons for everyone that is like off of work or out of school at that time. And because those are hourly, it's going to be hit or miss on how many people you actually get. So that can be tough once you get going and people know your name. I've heard great things about working for them. But yeah, I think one of the positions I was interviewing for was like a private kindergarten down in southern Japan.
That's right.
And their prices were just as competitive as all of the other situations. So there's plenty of them. Go to Gaijin Pot. I'll put the link down below. But Sugi, that's basically the easiest site to go through. It's upload a resume, make a profile, and just start throwing it out to all these companies. And yeah, it was pretty easy interview process. Yeah. As far
I'm
as
gonna let him out.
Okay.
We're cutting this out. I'm
Cut.
reminding Eric. Okay, just go do something. Okay.
Yeah, so that's my advice on how to do it is just try for it.
Just do it.
Most of them you do have to have a college degree. It doesn't matter what it is, but it has to be, I think it's 12 years of education in a English fluent country is the way it's worded. So even if you don't necessarily have your degree, but you've gone through all of your kindergarten through high school and maybe have gone to a trade school or something along those lines, you might still be considered for that process, but degree holders will be taken first. Difficulties, it's expensive.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very expensive. Plane tickets, all the extra luggage you'll be bringing because you need all that. Moving into an apartment, Japanese apartments don't always come with like your stove, refrigerator, washer, things like that, so you'll have to buy all of those up front. If you do come over teaching English, sometimes your company might have a rental program that you can get all of that stuff for like equivalent to $200 a month, like just deducted from your paycheck, then you just borrow that stuff basically. And there's also like used shops and stuff that you can get discounted appliances from, so that can help, but still you're going to need a couple $1,000s to get started, plus the fact if you are working in public school system, you won't start getting paid until your contract begins. So for instance, we moved over here in March. My contract didn't start until April, and you don't get paid till the end of the following month. So we had to have money for rent for March, April, and May because we didn't get paid until the end of May. So you need rent money, utility money, not to mention when you first move into an apartment, there's a lot of extra fees. Japanese apartments, you usually will be paying a month or two in advance. You'll be paying key money, and that's basically
for your key.
switching the locks out. We didn't have key money, but if we lose our keys, we have to pay like $1,000
Right.
just to get a replacement key. So that's something to keep in mind. There's usually also a cleaning fee. Our cleaning fee comes when we move out versus
Yes.
when we moved in,
Yes.
so that can help you out if you find something like that.
If you have tatami, like we do, sometimes you have to pay to get that replaced when you move out. So in our case, we do. I think that's pretty standard with
Yeah.
apartments.
Tatami can get like mites and stuff
Yeah.
like that, so they want to make sure it's nice and
It's
clean when
clean.
you move in.
Yeah.
So we had fresh tatami when we moved in. And then you'll have to pay to like get your gas hooked up.
Yeah.
And maybe insurance. We had insurance, but it was like a one-time $100
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
payment. And that covers like earthquake, fire damage, stuff like that.
Flood.
And then the gas, you actually get your money back when you move out. So we paid $100 to get hooked up. When we move out, we'll get that back.
I know they need that. That's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So yes, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Start saving before you even consider
Yeah.
applying for jobs, because once you put in for something, the process is very fast.
Yes.
You'll have maybe 1 or 2 interviews, and then paperwork starts pretty much as soon as you find out you have the job, because getting a visa for a foreign country is very difficult.
Yeah, I definitely think like there's a lot that goes into moving over here, like financial wise and logistics wise, because they are a very like bureaucratic systemed country.
Lots of paperwork.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, I don't remember where you live, to I think Leon to ask the question. I don't remember where you live, but I'm not sure like if you're in the States. I feel like we're very not paperwork based really anymore, like as much. So there's a lot that goes into like the visa process and stuff like that. But all that being said, I think if it's something that you've always wanted to do, or it's something that even you think that you'd like to do, and you think there's a way that you'd be able to save up for it, I definitely recommend doing it. We live in the like kind of rural area, which I feel like really just means we live in northern Japan. But we do live in like a smaller city, and there's some things that are like a little bit difficult. Like we don't have a car, there's not as much public transit here. Like we have it, it's just very spread out, and the times are spread out, so like you'll need to take into consideration that sort of stuff. And I think like when you're applying for jobs or trying to move over here, like you do have a little bit more knowledge of like, not knowledge, but like more freedom to be able to say like, oh, I want to live in Tokyo, I want to live in Kyoto, I want to live in Osaka or whatever, if you want a bigger city. And that might work. I think a lot of people do want to live in bigger cities though, so it's kind of a little bit more competitive. We didn't. We wanted to live like in the countryside, so I think it was pretty easy for them to find a place for us, which was good. But I will say that like I would definitely have learned a lot more Japan. Wow, just cut that out. I would have definitely learned a lot more Japanese than I did to move over here, because there's a lot of stuff that like is necessary to like have that basis. However, I'm functioning fine, and like we have friends that help us and stuff, but like day to day, I don't really come across things. It was just kind of like at first that was a little bit difficult. The only other thing I would say maybe is like, I'm not sure, I know you're also a Westerner, so I'm not sure like what your size is or anything. But I feel like men have a little bit worse time finding clothes that fit over here than women do. Cause like, even though I'm bigger than like the typical Japanese woman, like I can still find clothes that fit me. Even if I have to like look a little bit harder. So I definitely say make sure that you have like your staples when you move over here.
Especially footwear.
Yes.
For instance, I wear a size 11.5 or 12 in America, which over here is a 28, and a lot of times that is the max size that anything comes in. So if they don't have one on stock, you're out of luck.
Yeah. And you can order stuff online, that's fine. But all that being said, I wouldn't consider any of those a con necessarily to moving over here. I feel like they're just things you need to be aware of that like a lot of people don't tell you. Because, you're moving countries, like it's going to be difficult. Even if it wasn't Japan, it would be a little bit difficult. But I think it's totally worth it. Like, if you
Yes.
want to do it, it's great. I think pros, like, we're on this really cool adventure. We're doing something that, like, both of us have always dreamed of doing. And, like, you know, both of us have worked in jobs that have been, like, retail or food service, or I worked for a funeral home for a while, and he worked for the government for a while. And, like, all kind of jobs that weren't, like, our passion job or whatever. And, like, not that there's anything wrong with that. I think that that's good, and, like, it's good to be able to make money and stuff. But I feel like us being over here and, like, jumping off of that, like, cliff of, like, will this work? I don't know. Like, that has made me feel probably more accomplished than anything else in my entire life.
Yeah.
So I think it's totally worth it. Plus, it's, like, so much fun to just get to explore stuff. And honestly, I think even if you want to live in a bigger city, and like Eric was saying, if you get one of the teaching jobs and you end up somewhere else, like, you're gonna find so many cool things to like explore. And it's like, this is the first time in my life that I felt like every day is different. You know, there's always something new that I can see. Like, Japan has, there's a fuzz floating. Japan has a lot of, like, festivals and holidays and stuff that they celebrate. So I feel like there's always something going on. It's just like,
it's a very seasonal country. Yeah. So anytime something is changing, there's something new to do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think the only, like, con that I would have, it's not even about Japan, it's just about living abroad, I think, is just that it's hard sometimes, like, when you're so far from family. So I think as long as you know that going into it, and know that, like, you know, if you want to live long term abroad, like, find ways to be able to save money to go visit, or know, okay, this is temporary, this is 1 year, or this is 2 years, and we'll see them after, and, like, maybe they can come visit and stuff like that. I think just being able to stay in contact with friends and family is really important. But thankfully, we live in a day and age that is very possible. So, yeah, I feel like I don't really have very many cons for living in Japan. That's kind of it. Like, I don't miss much, like, about the country that I came from necessarily. I miss the people for sure. And obviously I wish that they would all just move into this apartment complex with us. But yeah, I don't know. I think my pro list is a lot bigger than my cons.
Oh, for sure.
So I definitely would recommend, if you want to do it, please look into it. Please try. Yeah. Good question. Yeah, that was a really good question. Yeah. Okay, let's see. All of these taco emojis, and want to collab with us? Okay. Oh, okay. So Langston said, when did you guys get married? Because he didn't know that. Right? Because I kind of said, like, Japan questions, like, questions about us as a couple, like, whatever. So, do you want me to say?
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. So Eric and I got married in 2011. We like got together in 2009, so we've been together for 10 years now.
But we met in middle school.
We did, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was 13 maybe when we met.
13, I was 14.
Yeah, and so we were friends, had crushes on each other and didn't know it. And then I had a long-term boyfriend, and then we broke up, and Eric was going to ask me out, and then the long-term boyfriend asked me back out, and I didn't know Eric liked me. And then we broke up again in college, and then Eric got the courage to ask me out, and I pretended I didn't know what he was talking about because we were best friends and I didn't want to ruin the friendship. And then my mom was like, "What are you doing? This is stupid." And I was like, "You're right." And so then we've been together ever since.
Yes, it was a struggle.
Yeah. So, yeah,
all worth it.
We've been married for, I can't do math, 8 years?
8 years.
8 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That makes me feel really old.
And we've been together for 10 years then, so...
Yeah. But it's, like, so weird, though, because I feel like I don't think of us as being, like, old or whatever. And, like, we're not old. Please don't flood the comments with, like, "Do you know how old I am?" Blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that we're actually old, but I feel like a decade together is a long time, you know?
Yeah.
Especially considering I'm 29, he's turning 31 in a month. Like, I feel like that's really still, like, young to have been together for a decade, but...
It's crazy.
Yeah, like in a committed relationship anyway, but yeah, so that's how long we've been married.
I'm gonna eat some of this cake. Thanks, Michiko, for our
you,
Christmas
Michiko.
present. They're so good.
So good. Okay, I have 3 more questions. Preston, our
Okay.
friend who lives in France and is a teacher over there, he said, are you going to take part in any Japanese Christmas traditions like eating KFC? Yes. We are going to take part in Japanese tradition. We're going to get one of the Christmas cakes. We have to try to figure out how to order that. I feel like we need to do that like really soon.
Yeah.
We gotta go look at the store.
Yeah, for all of the Christmas stuff, they started putting out order forms like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
But all of the stores have like their own variety.
Even 7-Eleven, I think, has Christmas cakes
they
you can
do.
order.
All of the convenience stores do. Yeah, so the traditional Christmas cake is like a shortbread or shortcake with strawberries and like whipped cream frosting.
Yeah.
And then, like back long ago, fried chicken became very popular because American troops wanted the like turkey dinner, but they don't have turkey over here really.
Yeah.
So fried chicken was the closest they could get to that. So that kind of became a Christmas tradition over here.
Yeah. But I feel like if we went to Yoku, the ladies would probably help us fill it out because they like us. So. I feel like we're like the pets of the neighborhood. Everyone's like, oh, they're back, you know?
Our neighborhood's super friendly.
Yeah, everyone's so nice to us. But yeah, so we're going to do that. The other like tradition is that, and I kind of talked about this in the studio vlog, but Christmas is like a romantic holiday over here, like Christmas Eve is. So I know a lot of like people will go out to eat like with their significant other on Christmas and stuff, and we probably won't go out to eat because I feel like we just don't go out to eat very often. I don't know, maybe we will, but if not, at least I'll definitely make us like a meal and stuff. And yeah, we've been talking about, because he's going to work on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, which means I will also work on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
My last working day is Christmas.
So we do have some time off after that, so we've been talking about going like to one of the onsen or something to like stay overnight and
relax.
Yeah, just kind of have like a spa getaway. So I don't know, we might do something like that. But it's going to be an interesting Christmas for sure. Like, that'll be very different from anything else we've ever done, so that'll be fun. But yeah, so that's a really good question. Thank you.
Yes.
Also, please tell me more about French Christmas traditions, because I'm curious. Hitesh said, is mayonnaise an instrument in Japanese? That was like an inside joke from when we first got here.
I don't remember that. Is that with you?
It was like with everyone.
Oh.
Never mind. I'll talk about it later. But he said, but for real, what's your secret getaway place to recharge in Aizu?
I think... I don't know, I always feel really good when we take a long train ride somewhere. Yeah. Or when we get to go bike out by the mountains. It's getting a little harder since it's below freezing, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my two.
Yeah.
My personal, I like going to onsen, which is the like Japanese hot spring. And I like going to the sauna and then jumping into the cold water and then going to a hot bath and then going back to the sauna and repeat.
Yeah. I also like onsen. I think I just have gone, like every time I've gone except once, I think has been with other people. So like I like the social aspect of like hanging out with a friend, you know, where like if you and I go, we're in separate baths. So I'm just like, okay, like that's nice, you know. So I do like it also, but but I do think we should go soon because it'd be really nice. Yeah.
I'm waiting for the snow.
Yeah.
That'll be really pretty.
Yeah. I think my secret getaway place to recharge is the river.
Yeah.
I really like going down to the river and just like looking at it or sitting near it or whatever. I always really like rivers, like bodies of water. I'm not so much like, I like the ocean, but I'm not like an ocean person necessarily, which is funny because I've like lived near one my whole life, but till now. But I think, I also have to agree. I think anytime I'm on my bike and I'm somewhere where there's not a lot of people, I feel really good. Like, Eric and I will take rides, like he said, like out towards the mountains or like towards Kitakata, which is like the town a little bit north of us. or sometimes I'll take a bike ride by myself, and we have a cycling road here, and it's not super busy like during the day. Like you might see 3 other people and they're like walking their dogs or whatever, but like it's really quiet, and it runs along the river, so it's a good view the whole time. So I feel like that's probably my like secret recharge place, but it's not necessarily like a I'm going to go sit sort of a situation. Yeah, I think that's probably my top. I do really love Tsurugajo, but we haven't gone in a while. I do want to go soon, maybe with you guys. So I wanted to kind of go when it was snowed, but I feel like it might be next month when it snows. I'm not sure that it will like stick this month, so we'll see. Yeah, or even like, as silly as it is, because when I'm home, like I work a lot, like I work constantly, and I'm really bad at taking breaks and stuff. So I think my other secret recharge place is literally just like, sometimes I'll put Suki with his little harness on and like his leash, and I'll just like open the porch door and I'll sit out there with him, and he'll like, you know, roll around on the fake grass and stuff. And I'll just like listen to the neighborhood sounds and the birds and everything, and like just kind of hang out with him. And I feel like that's probably my like all-time favorite. But now it's really cold, so I can't do that. I don't want to open the door. I know.
Don't let the heat out.
I know. Yeah, but that was a really interesting question, and now I feel like I need to like text you because I'm curious what yours are. But, yeah. So if you guys have any more questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. This was really fun, and I feel like these weren't questions that I expected to get necessarily, so it was like interesting to kind of think about them. Yeah, so I definitely like to do another one again if you guys have questions. I think, like, honestly, I feel like we could make another video about the whole process of moving here, because there is so much that goes into it, like even more than like what we said necessarily, not like in a negative way, but like there's just a lot of things that I feel like people don't tell you. Yeah, details. But yeah, so I hope that you guys liked it. Hope you enjoyed your tea. I'm pretty sure mine is real cold by now, but you know, it's okay. It is.
It's still good.
It's still good, yeah. But yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed this, and I think that's it, right?
Yeah, thank you for your questions. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.